Okay, welcome to the deep dive. Our mission, as always, is to sift through all the noise, grab the vital info, the surprising bits, and really understand what's going on.
Yeah, basically get right to the heart of it.
Exactly. And today, we're looking at a huge moment in sports, something that really resonated globally.
We're diving into the South African cricket team, the Proteas, winning the T20 World Cup. Finally.
Finally is the word. Picture it. June 14th, 2025. Bridgetown, Barbados. An absolutely massive final.
Electric atmosphere. But for South Africa, this wasn't just another final. It felt like, like shaking off ghosts. Decades of them.
Right. It's this whole story of pressure, near misses, what people call heartbreak, and then this incredible moment of triumph.
To really get it, though, you got to rewind a bit. Back to when they rejoined international cricket in '91.
After the apartheid ban, yeah. And they were good. Like, really good, almost straight away.
Packed with talent. Names cricket fans definitely know. Hansie Cronje, Alan Donald, Callis, later A.B. de Villiers, and now guys like Rabada. Just immense skill.
But World Cups were different somehow. They just couldn't seem to get over the line, especially in the big knockout games.
And that's where that awful nickname came from, isn't it? The chokers.
Uh-huh. Painful. Because it implied they, buckled under pressure.
And look, there were moments. Really high-profile, agonizing moments that kind of cemented that idea in people's minds.
Oh, absolutely gut-wrenching stuff.
Yeah.
You have to talk about the 1999 World Cup semifinal.
Australia.
The stuff of nightmares for South African fans.
They needed one single run to win, 4 balls left. It seems impossible to mess up, right?
Should have been a walk in the park.
Yeah.
But no. A calamitous mix-up between Klusener and Donald. Run out. Tie game.
And Australia go through because they finish higher in the group stage or something. Just brutal.
Brutal is right. And that memory, it just lingered. It created this weight.
And it wasn't a one-off either. Fast forward to 2015, another World Cup semi. New Zealand this time. Another incredibly tight game, another chance, and again, heartbreak. Lost by 4 wickets. Grant Elliott hitting that 6 off almost the last ball.
So these weren't just losses. They were like public failures right at the finish line. They just kept feeding that narrative.
Exactly. So imagine carrying all of that history, all that baggage into this T20 final. Against India, no less. A powerhouse.
The pressure must have been astronomical. In Barbados, Kensington Oval, packed house, global TV audience.
Oh, it was immense. You could feel it. In India, they had their own pressure too, mind you. They hadn't won this T20 World Cup since the very first one, way back in 2007.
Right, so both teams desperately wanted it. Okay, so the match itself. South Africa won the toss, batted first. What did they manage?
They put up 169 for 8. And the absolute star of that innings, the guy who made that score competitive, was Heinrich Klaasen.
He was incredible, wasn't he?
Just phenomenal. 52 runs, but get this, off only 27 balls. Pure power, 5 massive sixes in there. Those runs were absolutely vital.
So 169. In T20 terms, that's...
Wait.
Okay.
Defendable. It's defendable, yeah. It's got something to bowl at. But against India's batting lineup, honestly, most people probably thought India were favorites at the halfway stage. It wasn't seen as a huge score.
Because India just have so many great batsmen.
Exactly. Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Suryakumar Yadav. I mean, these are some of the best T20 players in the world, built for chasing.
And it looked like they were cruising for a while, didn't it?
They really did. At one point, about 11 overs in, they were 93 for 3, scoring pretty freely. Virat Kohli was playing that anchor role perfectly.
Holding the innings together.
Yeah, just batting deep, making sure there wasn't a collapse. He went on to score 76, a brilliant innings under pressure. And Axar Patel chipped in with some important runs, too. It really felt like, uh-oh, here we go again for South Africa.
So where did it change? How did the Proteas claw their way back into it? Because they clearly did.
This is where you saw something different about this team. They didn't fold, they dug in. The bowlers were just relentless.
Who stood out?
Well, you had Kagiso Rabada bowling those brilliant Yorkers right at the base of the stumps. Super hard to hit. And Rich Nortje was just raw pace and aggression.
Proper fast bowling.
Seriously fast. And Keshaf Maharaj, the spinner, he was finding turn on that pitch. That made him really difficult to play. The pressure just started to build and build.
Was there a specific wicket, a moment where you thought, okay, the tide is turning?
I think most people point to the 17th over, Maharaj bowling. He gets Hardik Pandya out.
Ah, Pandya, the finisher.
Exactly. He's the kind of guy who can win you a game in the last few overs. Getting him out then was absolutely massive. It suddenly left India needing runs from their lower order, and that 169 started to look a lot further away.
Wow. Okay, so it goes down to the last over, nail-biting stuff.
The ultimate pressure cooker. India needs 16 runs to win the World Cup.
16 off 6 balls. Who's got the ball for South Africa?
Heinrich Klaasen. Imagine being him. All that history, the noise, the stakes, everything on his shoulders for those 6 deliveries.
How do you do?
He was incredible. Held his nerve completely. Bowled fast, bowled accurately. He only conceded 8 runs. 8.
So South Africa wins.
South Africa win by 7 runs. The final ball is collected by the keeper, Quinton de Kock, and that's it. Cue absolute chaos.
Pandemonium.
Utter joy. Players crying, hugging, collapsing on the ground, confetti everywhere, just this enormous release of decades of waiting and hoping they'd finally done it.
Incredible scenes. So let's unpack that. Why this team? Why did they succeed where so many brilliant South African sides before them fell short? What was different?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It clearly wasn't just talent alone. They've always had talent.
Right.
I think a few things stand out. One seems to be the mental side. Reports suggest they worked really hard with sports psychologists, not ignoring the past, the choker thing.
Facing it head on.
Exactly. Acknowledging it, maybe even using it as fuel, but focusing intensely on the present moment. Just the next ball. Control what you can control. That seems to have been key.
Okay, makes sense. What else?
The team balance felt really good this time. You had genuine match winners in different areas. Klaasen's power, Rabada and Nortje's pace, Maharaj's spin. There didn't seem to be an obvious weak link for opponents to exploit under pressure.
Everyone contributing.
Pretty much, yeah. It felt like a complete unit. And leadership is vital in those moments.
Rabada as captain.
He seemed incredibly calm, outwardly at least, during those frantic final overs. That kind of composure can really steady a team. And, don't discount the fans either. The belief from the supporters, even when India were on top, that energy can transmit to the players.
So a combination of mental strength, team structure, leadership, and maybe just that sheer refusal to lose this time.
It felt like it, yeah. A perfect storm, in a good way.
Let's shine a light on some of those heroes then. Klaasen, obviously.
Absolutely central. That innings of 52 off 27, game-defining. Without his hitting, they just don't get to 169. Simple as that. He provided the impetus.
And Rabada.
Yeah.
Leading and performing.
Yeah, led from the front. Took 2 crucial wickets, bowled with control and fire when it mattered most. His spells were vital in restricting India.
Nortje, bowling that final over.
Oh.
Nerves of steel.
Completely. To execute under that kind of intense pressure, needing 16 World Cup on the line, to only go for 8, that's just world-class temperament. Exceptional stuff.
And Maharaj, the spinner who turned it back.
Brilliant. Provided control through the middle, and then got that absolutely massive wicket of Pandya. You could argue that was the moment the game truly swung back South Africa's way. Hugely important spell.
And you got to mention the coach, Rob Walter. Right. He's credited with a lot of this turnaround.
Definitely played a big part in shaping the team's approach and belief. And look, credit to India too. Kohli's 76 was a fantastic knock under pressure. Bumrah was brilliant with the ball throughout the tournament, took 7 wickets in the final. It wasn't really a case of India choking.
More like South Africa winning it.
Exactly. South Africa earned that win with a phenomenal performance, especially holding their nerve at the end. It shifts the narrative.
Let's zoom out then. This win, what does it mean for South Africa, the country? Beyond just the sport.
Oh, it's huge. You have to remember South Africa's history, the legacy of apartheid, the current challenges, high unemployment, political uncertainty, load shedding.
Those power cuts, yeah.
So seeing this team, a team that really reflects the nation's diversity, black stars like Rabada, white players like Klaasen, players of Indian heritage like Maharaj, seeing them succeed together, celebrating as one, it's an incredibly powerful symbol.
A symbol of unity, hope.
Absolutely. A moment of collective pride for a nation that, frankly, needs those moments. We saw people joking online, if the Proteas can win the World Cup, maybe Eskom can fix the power.
Shows how much it means.
It taps into that feeling, that desire for things to work, for the country to succeed. And there are real potential spinoffs, too, boosting cricket's popularity, maybe attracting investment, tourism.
Especially with them hosting the Champions Trophy in 2026.
Perfect timing. It really sets the stage for that.
And this win also feels part of a bigger story about cricket itself, doesn't it? The game is really growing globally.
It really is. And the T20 format is the engine behind a lot of that growth. It's faster, shorter, more explosive. It just draws in new fans.
And this World Cup being in the West Indies and the USA was a Big statement.
Huge, trying to crack that American market. And the viewing figures were apparently massive, like 1.2 billion globally, with a big chunk, maybe 300 million, from outside the traditional cricket nations.
Wow.
So when a team like South Africa wins, breaking that kind of dominance held by India, England, Australia for so long, it adds to the global appeal. It shows the sport is becoming more competitive at the top.
Makes it more interesting for everyone.
Definitely. And with T20 now in the Olympics for LA 2028, moments like this South African victory, it all fuels that global momentum.
So when you really dive deep into this story, it's so much more than just a cricket match.
Oh, absolutely. It's about history, redemption, mental strength, teamwork, belief.
A team finally overcoming decades of doubt and near misses on the biggest stage.
For the players, the fans, the whole country, it was just monumental, a burden lifted.
And it does leave you with a thought, doesn't it? If a team carrying all that weight can finally break through and achieve something that seemed cursed for so long, well, what does that say about those stubborn challenges or goals in our own lives?
Maybe that thing that feels impossible, that hurdle you keep tripping over, maybe, just maybe, like South Africa finally winning, it's actually closer than you think.